Good afternoon and welcome to Orient Live. Following from the drama on Friday, there was crucial 3 points that put the O's into 6th, and with the playoffs firmly in their hands, it's another big day for the O's as they travel to Cambridge and arrive here at the Cladara Abbey Stadium. And we'll be bringing you all of the action live and direct here on this Easter Monday on Orient Live. And I'm delighted to be joined in the studio this afternoon by Andrew Butler, the journalist, and a true Orient legend. It's Mr. Terry Howard. Now, Terry, I don't know if you bought your dinner or not, but we're very close to where that famous night unfolded. Obviously, what a career you had with the O's, what a lot of stories you must have. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us.
It's lovely to be here. Thanks, Ollie. I think, as I said to you before, I think it's the first time back in this stand since that infamous night. So it's over 30 years ago now. So yeah, lots of memories coming back.
It's an absolute pleasure, and a massive game for it as well. A massive weekend, and this could really kind of cap off what has been an exciting period.
It has been exciting. You can't say that this season has been anything other than just quite an exhilarating ride, and to get to the end of the season with 3 games to go and be in the playoff spots is an incredible achievement from everyone. It feels quite surreal in some respects, because we've probably only been in the playoff spots for perhaps less than a week over the course of the full season now. But now there's that sense of we're so close, and with a game like today's against Cambridge side, who are going to be incredibly tough to face because they're still fighting for their lives down the bottom end of the table. It's going to be another exciting one, I'm sure, again.
Absolutely, and we need to touch on Friday, and I'd talk about it for hours if we could. It was a special day here in East End. What a performance, what character. I mean, I'm still watching the highlights more or less every hour or so just to remind myself it was an incredible day.
It was. I mean, I said, you've got at this stage of the season, you've got to have character, and we showed so much of it. We wasn't at our best, I think we were the first to admit that. But the way that we've got ourselves back into it 2-1, then to go 3-1 down and still come back, we were relentless in that last sort of 25 minutes, half hour. And in the end, I thought we deserved it. I know Barnsley would be disappointed for the first 25 minutes. They looked like one of the best sides that have been here this season. They controlled the game. We looked a little bit lethargic and leggy. But as I say, fair play. I'm sure that Richie had some special words at half time. And it worked the trick. He changed it slightly. And we looked a lot better second half.
Well, indeed, whatever he did say on Friday at half-time did do the job, and we caught up with him yesterday as well to get his thoughts ahead of this Easter Monday fixture.
So, Gaffer, just touching on Friday now, a couple of days on, how are the lads who put in the shift there getting through that one?
Well, they had a day off yesterday, so there's been no reported issues. We've obviously just got in, some of the players are not in yet, so we'll train today, we'll make sure we keep them fresh. We'll go through a couple of bits on Cambridge. But great effort. I thought the intensity and the attitude and the athleticism in the second half was exceptional. So we need to keep that up.
And it was such a big result. The manner in coming back, not just physically, but now also mentally and emotionally, getting fully focused on Mondays is key now.
Yeah, well, that's 3 games on a bounce now where we've gone behind early. 2 of them away from home. So I don't think the resilience or the character of this group can be questioned, especially the young players now. They're reacting. We expect it from the likes of Sean Clare, who come on and was exceptional. Omar Beckles, we expect that because they've been through this before. They know what's required. But the young players have really been stepping up to the plate in recent weeks, and like I say, it was a great result for us.
And you've touched on Sean there coming off the bench and putting in a great performance. Other substitutes really good as well. It's going to need to be a really big squad effort come Monday as well, with the game so close together. Yeah,
we spoke to the players 10-12 weeks ago. And I said to them, I'm experiencing this kind of situation where I know that the most important games are the last 5 or 6. Okay, now we never planned to lose 5 on the bounce, don't get me wrong, but we was rotating a squad that come to this situation now. I don't think Kelman is one who is played every single week, but when you look across, Randell's fresh, Dylan Marcandy's fresh, Dan Aggie's coming back from injuries fresh.
Top stuff there from the gaffer, and now time to take a look and see the starting lineup that Richie has opted for as we prepare to face Cambridge United, and starting in goal, it's an unchanged defence with Josh Keeley in between the sticks and across the back line. Jack Curry is on the left side of defence with Ethan Galbraith on the opposite flank. Romani Edmonds-Green and Omar Beckles, the captain for today, partner up at the heart of defence. Sean Clare starts today alongside Jordan Brown in midfield, and then moving ahead of them, Dylan Markandale and Randall Williams are in the wide positions, with Jamie Donnelly through the middle in that 10 position, and Kelman leads the line, looking to add to his tally that season at the top of the scoring charts. And on the bench is Noah Phillips, Brandon Cooper, Dan Adji, Don Ball, Ollie O'Neill, Jalang Jayassimi and Azim Abdullahi. Now there's not too many changes considering how intense Friday's game was. You thought maybe we'd have tinkered a little bit more, but I guess we're going to use Friday's the boost and that victory to really kind of carry us through into today's fixture.
Yeah, I think that obviously continuity is important. The way we finished the game, you know, I think Richie would like to say he's almost starting with what we finished with one or two exceptions. We've got good strength on the bench today. We can change things if need be. But I make him right. I'd have kept it pretty similar to what we had that finished.
And I mean, rightly so, you can't change what did such a good job on Friday, I suppose, and a little period on the training pitch and up until next Saturday. There aren't many games left now, so I guess it's a case of just giving it everything that's left in the tank for the final few.
Yeah, I mean, these players now are also quite familiar with playing alongside each other as well. So you know, there's no real surprises. Obviously, Dan Adji starting on the bench, whereas we started on Friday, and Markandale coming in is the change, and it's perhaps arguably a big change, but Ajay coming off the bench is a frightening prospect, as we've said quite consistently over the course of the season. But Markandale's come on the pitch multiple times this season and has you know made a difference really. I think on Friday he was obviously the goals went to different players, but he was very, very good. He was a willing runner. Had a couple of opportunities. Had an opportunity where I thought he should have pulled the trigger earlier as well. But you know that front line has been lethal. Whenever you play different players over the course of that front line, all you want to be doing really at this stage of the season is can you occupy space so that Charlie Kelman can get a shot off, and can you get the ball into Kelman as well. Unfortunately, on Friday we saw that with the Donnelly and Kelman link.
We did. Let's stick with Dan Adji for just a second. And whilst he's on the bench, we'd really like to win this game, but for Cambridge, it's a must-win for their relegation hopes. Do you think the longer this game goes on, if it's tight and they need a goal at the end, this game could open up? And when you've got Dan Adji on the bench to try and attack it when the game is opening up like that, do you think that could be the thinking there from Richie?
Yeah, I think so. The thing is, this season, I think Dan is a handful. When he's on his game, he's a handful. I think he might have picked up a little bit of a knock on Friday, and that might be why he's sort of on the bench. He might not be, you know, okay for 90 minutes, but sure, you know, if the game needs changing, as I said before, you've got the likes of Dan, Ollie O'Neill on the bench. What I'd like to see today from Dylan Markandale, I think he's got ability. You know, he's got ability. He seems to do better when he comes on. Today we want to see him actually make an impact from the start. You know, you get players that are like that. Sometimes they prefer, or they're better when they come on. But as I say, it'd be nice to see Markandale today actually take the ball by the horns and get on it from an early start rather.
Absolutely, and we will come on to the Sunderland. Just one more word on Adji, of course. I think Danny Andrews in the left back spot for Cambridge would be delighted to see his name on the team sheet. If you look back to that reverse fixture, it was a drubbing in that Christmas period. He was probably one of the best individual performances we've seen here in recent years. Yeah,
I think so, and I think that's probably to Terry's point, probably perhaps Adji might have a knock. We genuinely don't know, because if he's available, then you've got to play him against Andrew at the left back role for Cambridge, because like you said, looking back on that game, was one of the most perfect performances you can have from a front man or a front forward player. Andrew was left isolated by the rest of his back line for the first 45 minutes of the game. Andrew caused him nightmares, got a couple of assists, I believe, in the game, but every single time was being turned Andrew finally picked up a booking, if I remember rightly, around like the 65, 70 minute point. And the thing I couldn't believe about that Cambridge team and that day was they weren't doubling up on Adji. We had so much, he just had the run of that left-hand side and our right-hand side, I should say, in that game, and we won comfortably in the end. And it was just a brilliant performance. One, a standout performance in what has been a season full of standout performances across, from many different players.
And let's focus on now then the players that are starting. Of course, we've already touched on Dylan Markanday. He's in that midfield, kind of that three behind the strike with Jamie Donnelly and Randall Williams, and here he is warming up now. But what we've seen in glimpses is when he's played maybe a little bit more centrally and kind of quite an advanced 8, and he's so good at keeping hold of the ball and controlling the game. He offers something really quite different, doesn't he?
Yeah, and as I say, he's such a talented boy. I think it's like where is he at his best? And I think we've found that position now. He offers so much attacking wise. I think his assists for the season. I think he's a joint most assists in the season in the division. Obviously, he's chipped in with goals, but his general work rate's a lot better now. He works harder to find them spaces. He creates such a problem for opponents by finding them pockets. And as an old defender, it's a very difficult thing. You don't know whether to stick or twist. Do you go with him? Do you hold back off of him? It's very difficult. If you give him space, it'll hurt you.
Absolutely. And let's look at some of the recent character shown by the squad. I think it's fair to say 3 games now in a row where we've come back from losing positions. I mean, this has just been a remarkable run of a few games, hasn't it? Yeah,
character is the right word to use, I think, for this squad, because right at the start of the season, we had a poor start to the season, but when we were really hitting our stride, what we would do is just take the lead and hold on to a lead and keep clean sheets, and that was a good way of showing real mettle and resilience. But this is incredibly the same squad of players, more or less the same setup as well, tactically. But what we've done in the last few weeks is show a completely different side of our game, which is coming from a goal and on Friday 2 goals down twice to win the games. This one against Mansfield, we showed such character again, use the word, but this level of brilliance as well. Sometimes you just win games by being individually better than other teams, and that certainly was the case with that goal from Charlie Kelman. Moving on to this game against Crawley, going a goal down against what I thought was quite a poor team in Crawley. Again, a team that were fighting for their lives in the division as well, and just getting back into the game again through that man Kelman again, and kind of the 1-2 that we hit Crawley with on this particular day. Scoring 2 goals in a matter of 2 minutes pretty much sealed the game. But the desire at the end of the game, Don Ball coming in here, winning the challenge, getting it over to Jamie Donnelly to finish well, showed such. It was a very, very good afternoon in the end. And then we've spoken about Friday's game. It was just one of the craziest, most entertaining, stressful games as well. I think I've ever seen. I'm pleased I wasn't in the studio for it, Ollie, to be honest, because I kind of had my head in my hands for about 55 minutes of the game over in the West Stand where I usually sit. But we get back into the game through Galbraith, and again it's that level of thing of Galbraith getting a goal back in to get us back into the game. That level of excellence that you kind of just don't see elsewhere in the division from a position like right back. And then the brilliance of Jamie Donnelly, just knowing where Kelman is, the goal that kind of kept him up the top of the League One scorers charts as well. Kelman, again, a willing runner, underrated part of his game completely is hold up play, winning the first ball up top, and then bringing it down to Sean Clare, and then the champagne moment, really, Omar Beckles. It's a unique finish, I think it's fair to say, but the celebrations were completely deserved, and it was just phenomenal to get that win. But over the last 3 weeks, I think heart rates of Orient fans would have just gone all over the shop, because we've been sat there going, we're out of it now, oh we're back in it, oh we're out of it now, oh we're back in it.
I was going to say, for my ticker at least, I'd quite like to not have to go a goal or two down every game. And you know, joking aside, as fantastic as it's been to show this character, we do need to stamp out conceding those early goals. We won't be able to do a turnaround every time. That will be a concern of Richie's, you'd imagine.
Yeah, it's funny going back to how we've sort of changed not our style, but how we've won games. As you said, early in the season, we had a very settled back four, goalkeeper. When we lost Omar and Dan, and we lost Jack Curry to suspension, and you saw that obviously it rocked us. It would rock any team if you lose three of your four starting defenders. And I think as we had that bad run, I think what we found what we had to do was win a different way. We would have to go and score goals. Early in the season, you felt like we got one in front, and we were quite solid. Now we've carried on. Now we've got the defenders back, with the exception of Dan. We've carried on that attacking play. It wasn't like we were defending a lot in the season, but we found it a lot easier to defend with our better players. We've carried that momentum of attacking because our defence maybe was a little bit vulnerable. We've carried it on even though we've got Omar back and Jack back and so on. So really, as you say, we do need to defend better, but we just feel like we can. When you've got that confidence, we can. Even if we go behind today, you feel, well, we're not out of this. We've scored, I would imagine, over the last sort of 4 or 5 games, we're probably the highest scores in the division, and it's a lovely thing to have that confidence to say, right, doesn't matter, we know we can come back from this. Hopefully that doesn't happen today. Hopefully we actually have a nice, quiet afternoon, and we win like 3-0, and it's 3-0 at half time, and our heart rate will stay down. But, that ability I call it bounce back ability, for the want of a better word, it's an important thing to have in your armoury.
And just a quick word on Omar Beckwood. We saw that moment, him getting the goal. Said it was the anniversary of his dad's death. Him coming back into the side, how much the victory meant for the club, for him. What a performance and what a sight it is having him back in the starting 11. He's physically huge, and like on another level in that dressing room, he's huge. You've got to have characters in there. You've got to have people that are winners. And you saw that when he wasn't in the side, there was something missing there, not just his ability as a footballer, but you've got to have players who can affect the team on the pitch, and he can do that. And to go through what he's gone through, it takes a lot, but he takes it all in his stride. He's a very impressive man. He certainly is. Right then, time to take a quick break from the pre-match action. Just to remind you, if you're watching live on our YouTube stream, then today's match is available for international fans to watch along with us here on Orient Live. You can pick up a streaming pass for just £10. But if you're watching along on our YouTube stream from the UK, you can listen along with an audio pass with Dave Victor's commentary to make sure you don't miss out on what is a crucial fixture for the O's on this Easter Monday. And now, we're going to take a look at the home side very shortly, but first let's take a look at our recent sponsors day.
I sponsor a couple of players, and today we get the opportunity to see the boys train and see them do what they do best. It's good to be part of something. Leyton Orient to me is a family, and that's the reason I keep coming back and loving the club so much. I'm really proud of them. Jamie, I think, is a phenomenal player, and I feel like a little proud mother of him. And Zek is going to come a long way, and I hope to see a lot more of him next season. As you can tell, I'm not English. I've been coming here for at least 13, 14 years, and it's the people you meet. Everyone talks to you, from the CEO to the security. We're one big happy family, and I welcome anybody to come and join our family.
We're lucky enough to sponsor Richie Wetlands. There's a syndicate of us, so we all chip in, and we all very proudly sponsor Richie. So it's nice to come and see the team. 13, 14 of us, and we all go home and away. We like a picnic on the train. It usually involves tins of gin and maybe a couple of sausage rolls thrown in. But yeah, we enjoy each other's company, and we always make a bit of a thing on the away games because the majority of us are committee at the supporters club. So on a home game, it's a little bit difficult to sort of enjoy each other's company quite as much. So. not many clubs where you can actually go and say, oh, you know the manager, and the manager can say, hello, Karen. It's lovely. It makes you feel loved a little bit. Starman, the end of season dinner and dance. We've got a planning meeting tonight for that. Try and get the last few things of the jigsaw in place. And a lot of clubs, I think a lot of clubs get it wrong, and Leyton Orient get it really right. And it's nice that you have access to the players, but at the same time the players still have their privacy and everything else. But it's nice when you can walk along and bump into a player on a train or something, and they'll be like, oh hi, even if it's just the badge they recognise, they may not recognise you. But it's lovely. It's Leyton Orient, and that's what we're all about.
Time to turn our attention then back to today's fixture, and it's Cambridge who are fighting for their lives, and these points will be crucial if they want to stand any chance of surviving and keeping their League One status. And here is how they line up in their amber kit. In goal is Jack Stevens. Across the back lines we have James Gibbons, Kelland Watts and Danny Andrews, with Michael Morrison completing the defence wearing the armband today. Paul Digby and Ben Stevenson are in midfield alongside Sully Kaikai, Josh Stokes and former O James Brophy. And leading the line is Ryan Loft. And on the bench for them is Nathan Bishop, Jubril Okadina, George Hoddle, Liam Bennett, Elias Kachunga, Shane Lavery and Dominic Ballard. A quick word on Cambridge then. They did us a real favour on Friday. They've been in not dreadful form. Their league position is probably a bit of a false one considering the last 6 games, only 1 defeat. This is going to be a tricky test.
Yeah, it's funny to say that they did us a favour, because they did do us a favour, but at the same time it makes me more nervy that they've beaten Huddersfield in the manner in which they did on Friday, because Huddersfield equalised for another former Orient player. Josh Coroma scored in the 88th minute, and then James Brophy, not James Brophy, but Cambridge came and scored the winner in the 92nd minute. James Brophy getting the assist for that one, and it's just given them a little glimmer of hope, and it still is a glimmer. But with 3 games to go, they're still. They can still stay up, and they will take great confidence from winning such a big game. They've had some kind of standout draws in the last couple of weeks, which is, I know, not what you want to be doing to get in when you're in the relegation places, but they're a very, very tough team to beat. Every game against them has been narrow in the last month or so, and I think we'll probably have something similar today, because they're not going down without a fight, that's for sure.
They're not, but they are obviously where they are for a reason. We've got some clips of some of their goals scored. They're not a team that possesses tons and tons of quality, but as Andrew's alluded to, this is I believe Jamie Donnelly. This is the goals that Cambridge has scored. Some nice finishes in there, but Terry, probably lacking a little bit of quality.
Yeah, as I say, they've not scored loads of goals this season. They've become a lot harder to beat in recent games. I believe that the 2 goals they scored at Huddersfield were their only 2 attempts on target in the game. So obviously they were very clinical. We just got to make sure we're not complacent today. We mustn't give away needless set pieces, because that's obviously going to be a problem. It's been a problem for us. They would know that that's been a problem for us. So we've got to we've got to be very diligent in the way we defend today. Nothing silly, but I'm looking there. They're getting around the back a little bit. Same wide areas. They look like they can create. We know all about James Brophy, and we know that he has the ability to do that. So we've maybe got to show him inside a little bit more today. Show him into where our strength is. But it's a game where we mustn't give them any confidence early. We've got to start fast, start on the front foot, not allow them to as I say, that obviously Neil Harris, he's a very experienced manager. He will drum into them the need for them to start fast, and we've got to match that. And you've got to feel that if we can match their work rate and endeavour, our quality will come through in the end.
It's a sold-out away end. I'm not sure how the home tickets have sold, but Andrew, this feels massive, and it's that stage of the season where anything can happen.
Well, it is massive, and it's kind of good in some respects. We usually complain about games coming thick and fast, but the fact that the players have had just the single day off on the Saturday, back in training on yesterday for a small session, and then back at it, means that we can surely take the momentum from Friday. And it's funny how I'm sure that some of the players a couple of weeks ago would have been really, really tired, thinking, how's this season going to end? Is it going to peter out? Are we going to finish kind of 9th, 10th? And now we're in 6th place with inside the playoff places in probably quite an unlikely fashion. But we are there for a reason. Winning 5 of our last 7 games is very much promotion and playoff form. So we are there for a reason, and we've shown the character in recent weeks to be there for. Because we deserve to be there. The fans have travelled in their numbers. I think you can probably just sense the excitement within the fan base now, and hopefully that has kind of permeated through the dressing room as well. It's funny, you always hear from players saying that when you're winning games, the injuries and the tiredness just doesn't dissipates, and I think that probably would have been the case from Friday. Anyone carrying like a small bit of a knock will be now thinking, do you know what, I fancy the next 3 games, because we're right in there with a shout.
And with playoffs in our hands now, Terry, all the work on the training pitch has been done. How much does it come down to mentality now? This is our opportunity to take, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, performance isn't really that important now. You know, early in the season, you need performance because you've got a long season ahead, and you're not going to get by just by dogging out results all the time. It's the opposite now. It's all about the result. It doesn't matter if we play absolutely awfully. We get one chance and nick it 1-0. You know, I remember years ago we went to Lincoln needing a win to get promoted. To get in the playoffs. It wasn't a great game, it was an awful game. Steve Castle got probably one of the worst goals he'll ever scored in his career. It didn't matter, it went in, we won 1-0, we was in the playoffs, and that's all that matters. And today, I'll take a scrappy 1-0 all day, even though, as I said earlier, it'd be a lot better for us if it's a bit more comfortable than that.
Well, 3 points would be very welcome indeed, and here come the players at the Cladara Abbey Stadium. So to tell you all about it now, it's Dave Victor, and he is alongside Matt Hiscock.
Welcome to the Abbey Stadium. It's a fantastic atmosphere for a game that both sides need to win, but for very different reasons, Matt.
Yeah, without a doubt, the O's destiny now in our hands, as we know, following the spectacular performance, the mighty comeback on Friday. But there's 3 more cup finals for the O's. Of course, we know what we need to do. Cambridge know what they need to do, and that, of course...